today I'm here with Rep. Gabe Amo of Rhode Island. Congressman, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me, Kat. It's an honor to be on with you.
Oh, well, thank you. And so I wanted to just get to know you today. You're one of the freshest faces in Congress because you were elected during a special election late last year. And for those who might be unfamiliar with your background, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to pursue a career in public service?
Yes, most certainly. I have been in Congress since November 13th, after a special election, and I've been involved in public service, politics, and government, and all the like for pretty much the entirety of my career. I started working on campaigns when I was in high school, doing my first full-time job as an organizer, working for now Senator Sheldon Whitehouse on his first race for the U.S. Senate. And then I worked as a super volunteer on the first Obama campaign in '08, followed by working full-time on his reelection, on President Obama's reelection in Chicago at headquarters in 2012, followed by a stint at the White House as a junior staffer in the Office of Intergovernmental Affairs and Public Engagement. And then I went back home to Rhode Island, where I worked for now Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo when she had just been elected governor of Rhode Island. And just last year, up to last April, before I started my run for Congress, I was the Deputy Director of Intergovernmental Affairs for the president at the White House.
It's a very impressive resume, but I'm so curious, like where in your childhood or, when you were in school, what inspired you to take that first step in public service?
Well, for me, it always started from trying to do what's right. When I was really young, in kindergarten, I heard about Martin Luther King. It was the 25th anniversary of his assassination, and I wondered, why do all these people care about this man? And I saw in his message, when you learn the "I Have a Dream" speech, when you learn about racial equality, it's inspirational, even to a 5-year-old. And I saw very early that the sort of the unit of action for a lot of the challenges that we face in our country and the ability to act at scale is government. And so every opportunity I got, whether it was discussing the news with my dad, whether it's my first projects about presidents, right? I learned about how FDR in the New Deal inspired a whole transformation about how government played a role in people's lives. And from then I knew I would be associated in some way with making people's lives better, with government as the vehicle. And sometimes to get a good government, you need good politics. And that's how I started in campaigns.
And I'm also curious about your experience growing up in Rhode Island. Rhode Island, the smallest state in the country, and I don't think everyone is really familiar with its culture and what it's like there. So, can you tell me a little bit what it's like to live and grow up in Rhode Island, and also tied to that, the significance of your election? You are the first Black representative from Rhode Island, and I know Rhode Island is a predominantly white state. I think over like 70 to 80% white and only 5% Black. So what are the challenges growing up in a state like that, then representing a state like that, and just the significance of your election?
Well, when I think about Rhode Island and my story, I think about how everybody in some way has a story where the generation before invests in the future to come. And what I mean by that is, in my Rhode Island story, I'm the son of two West African immigrants. My dad from Ghana, my mom from Liberia, who came to Rhode Island in the '80s and met one another. And, that's how I came about, like any good Disney story. But in so many ways, that story is like many others. Some people are indigenous folks. We have a history of tribes being a really strong partner to the settlers. Roger Williams met the Native Americans, the Narragansett tribe, in peace. They were there before. But you also have people who came not of their own volition, enslaved people, where the slave trade was prominent, to more recent waves of people coming to Rhode Island, your traditional Irish and Italian, to people from Portugal, people from the Azores, people from all parts of Latin America, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, and so much more. And so Rhode Island, while on its face may not seem very diverse. We have so many strong ethnic communities, and that's what I talked about both when I was running for this office and when I kicked off my time in Congress. On the House floor, I spoke to the different threads of the Rhode Island narrative being woven together, and that gives me the opportunity to serve a wide range of people. So, of course, being the first Black congressman from Rhode Island is not something that is lost on me. I know that so many people came before me. I stand upon so many shoulders. But that is not a hindrance. It actually presents great opportunity to bring people together, to know that I'm just a representative and a vessel for so many dreams of people who came from those with hard work, grit, resilience, and determination. And now I get to fulfill their hopes and dreams in Congress.